So this is the last part of what we call our preclinical efficacy package. So we have done quite a number of studies in traumatic brain injury in rats. This is the second study we've done in ferrets. The first study, we looked at the ability for ARG-007 to reduce biomarkers at 3 days post-injury. And we asked ourselves, I wonder if that is actually sustained. So in traumatic brain injury, you actually get a second wave of injury that happens, and it's in that sort of 7 to 14 days when you can get a lot of inflammation in the brain, and it can cause the elevation of these biomarkers to go up. So we'd only done the 3 days in the ferrets, and we really wanted to understand how just giving ARG-007 30 minutes after injury and a 10-minute IV infusion, was that effect sustained across the long term. So we looked out to 14 days, and we are really, really excited with this data. It shows that our drug does last out to 14 days. It does have that long-lasting effect. So ARG-007 as a therapy for traumatic brain injury is really compelling based on this new data that we have. So with traumatic brain injury, there are no neuroprotective drugs on the market. So patients that are sustaining a more moderate to severe traumatic brain injury, so this would be a TBI, typically sustained in, say, a motor vehicle accident, a domestic violence incident, something like a king hit. Those patients come into the emergency department, and really it is around managing the levels of inflammation, the levels of fluid that sits on their brain, but there are no drugs available that can actually protect brain cells, stop the inflammation, stop that toxicity cascade and the aggregation of these key proteins that we see. So ARG-007 seems to be doing all of that, which is really exciting. And so we're really keen to see how this works in the clinic in actual traumatic brain injury patients coming into emergency departments. There's a lot of work that goes into moving something from preclinical studies into obviously clinical trials. One of the good things that we have about ARG-007 is that we've completed all of our non-clinical work that we have to do to get it into the clinic, as well as a phase 1 clinical trial in healthy people. So we can move this drug and this indication straight into a phase 2 clinical trial, so actually testing it in traumatic brain injury patients. We will be working really closely with our clinical advisory committee to really understand the clinical workflow, what actually happens with those patients when they arrive at the emergency department, where can our drug fit into that clinical standard of care, and then what exactly do we need to measure. So really bedding down that clinical trial protocol is absolutely critical for the success of ARG-007 in traumatic brain injury patients. So we won't be doing anything immediately. It'll take some time to pull all that together, and then hopefully some point in calendar year 2026 we'll kick off a phase 2 clinical trial in TBI.